Let's come to you in the studio. I know you've been here for the past hour with Daisy McAndrew, running through the details. And as is necessary and as we're used to in situations like this regarding the royal family, details are somewhat scant, aren't they? What's the latest?
Yes, so we know that the King was diagnosed during his treatment for benign enlarged prostate. There, an issue of concern was noted. Diagnostic tests were carried out and they determined that the King had a form of cancer. We don't know what form of cancer. We don't know at what stage it is. We don't know what the prognosis is. We do know that he's going to be receiving treatment as an outpatient. He was in Sandringham over the weekend with Queen Camilla. We saw him yesterday waving to onlookers as they attended the Sunday morning church service at St Mary Magdalene Church there in Norfolk. He returned to London today and he commenced his outpatient treatment today. And tonight he is remaining in London, presumably at Clarence House. What the form of that treatment is, we don't know. It may well be chemotherapy or radiotherapy. Buckingham Palace not giving the details on that. He will, though, be continuing to carry out his constitutional duties. So he will be continuing to receive his red boxes. He will carry out any duties that are required of him. He will continue to hold Privy Council meetings. If it's decided that he shouldn't have any in-person contact, they will find a way around that. They're pretty used to that after COVID and having to do these things via Zoom. The weekly audiences with the Prime Minister will continue. Again, medical advice as to whether those should take place in person or whether at some point they may need to be done remotely as well. So at this point, Buckingham Palace saying there's no talk of councillors of state being required, and the King hopes to return to public duties as soon as possible. He is wholly positive about his treatment.
So there's going to be a focus exactly on business as usual, but paperwork, stuff behind the desk, the red box stuff. We won't see him in public.
We won't be seeing him in public for some time.
Now, there's so many different angles we're going to be exploring throughout the next hour about this, because it will be huge news to so much of the nation. We'll also explore the cancer side of it, the health side, which will resonate with a lot of people in this country. But in terms of the royal family themselves, one doesn't really want to focus on Prince Harry at a time like this, because obviously this is all about King Charles, but that is the name that comes up second when people think about how the family are responding, because he's now based on the west coast of the US and everyone is familiar, of course, with the state of the breakdown of the family relationship there. We have heard, of course, details that he might be coming to the UK.
Yes, now what we know is that the King personally told his siblings, so Anne, Edward, Andrew, and his two children, William and Harry, about his diagnosis. Following that conversation with his father, Prince Harry is now returning to the United Kingdom. He is flying back and he will be visiting his father. Now, I think that's significant. One, it tells us, you know, they are taking this very seriously. Two, there hasn't been very much contact between them at all, particularly not in person. We know that Harry and Meghan rang the King on his 75th birthday back in November. But even when it came to the coronation and Prince Harry's return here, that fleeting visit, there wasn't any time for a heart-to-heart with his father. Relations have been very, very strained between California and the London side of the family. And so I think this is really significant that Prince Harry is returning back to the United Kingdom to see him.
And again, it seems strange to raise it because you don't want that issue to overshadow a very serious medical concern, and people obviously want to focus on King Charles right now. And also it's peculiar to even think about, but of course it will make headlines, Prince Harry coming over, because his brother is heir to the throne, Prince William. And there's a lot going on with William and Kate at the moment.
I mean, the timing of this is incredibly difficult for the royal family, because the King now receiving cancer treatment. Kate, the Princess of Wales, has had abdominal surgery, non-cancerous, but a lengthy recovery period for her. We're not going to be seeing her until April. The Prince of Wales had taken a step back from public duties in order to care for his wife and look after their children. But we got the briefing earlier on today that Prince William was going to be back on duties on Wednesday. He was going to be hosting an investiture at Windsor Castle, and he's also going to be attending an engagement for the London Air Ambulance charity, a very important charity to him. I don't think that was accidental that that briefing happened today. They wanted it to be known that Prince William was back, that he was going to be back on duties before they made the announcement that the King is actually going to be out for a lot longer than perhaps we might have anticipated. We were thinking that following his treatment, he'd be off public duties for around a month. at most. But now, obviously, that is going to be a longer period as he undergoes this treatment for cancer.
Now, before we go over and speak to Tom Bauer, just briefly, Sarah, because I know you've been a royal correspondent for so long, so many years of your career, and you've seen a lot of these kind of complex PR exercises they have to go through and the types of statements they put out. And you've already mentioned there the complex timing of what's happening with multiple medical issues, not to mention
Sarah Ferguson
as well
yes,
at the same time. How much pressure do you think they're under at the moment to ensure that this flow of communication is clear and that the country feels informed and reassured?
Well, that's a very good point, because this is the king, this is the monarch, the head of state. And so there is a duty to inform the public of this news, while also trying to maintain the king's privacy and his right to medical privacy. And so I think they're treading a fine line. We know that he did, unusually for a member of the royal family, reveal the details of his prostate treatment. In this case, they have decided to reveal that he does have a form of cancer, but to stop short of any further information about what it is. They do not want speculation about prognosis and what that cancer is. They don't want error to get out there, rumour, gossip and inaccuracies to be out there. But of course, everyone will be wondering. The hope, of course, is that because this was diagnosed during that prostate treatment, that it may have been picked up early. And of course, early diagnosis is so vital when it comes to cancer treatment.
That is one takeaway we can hope for, certainly, and we'll obviously await further details.